Whoa, that is interesting. Oh well, you'll be hearing more about this as time goes on. I'm quite sure you'll be hearing a lot of it. As most of you know, Houston had, I think, what they call the Hero Bill, which, if I remember right, Houston, Texas offered a proposition that would allow men into women's bathrooms and showers in public. Well, that bill came about because the mayor of Houston happens to be, as far as I know, a lesbian, whatever they want to be called themselves. I've never been one for being politically correct. But that bill evidently didn't fly. I forgot how many of the city council went for it, but 61% of Houston citizens opposed the dangerous bathroom bill. At least, if not the government of Houston, at least the people in Houston have brains enough to know that was just opening up a can of worms. I'm telling you, folks. Can you picture yourself if in Houston, if this had passed, going into the ladies' room and a guy goes in there? I mean, a lot of these places now, they've got, male, female, and unisex bathrooms. But that's not good enough for these groups. Now they want to be able to go in any bathroom they want. Oh, well, it just gets to the point where it's just crazy. And for those of us in Florida, you've been reading a lot lately that the data shows there's 10,900 sexual assault kits still untested in Florida. And that's from 262 agencies. The federal government estimated 70,000 rape kits sitting in laboratories and evidence collection rooms across the country that need to be tested, with combined $79 million in federal and New York City funds designed to cut the backlog of untested DNA evidence in 27 states. Now, they certainly should be able to get the money for this. I find an outrage that they have all these kits untested. But there's also 4 other bills that are out here in Florida as far as weapons. There's one on the Supreme Court's going to weigh in on the open carry of guns. There's another one opposing guns on campuses, as well as an open carry gun bill bangs into business concerns, and backyard gun range bill gets to go ahead. So evidently this one looks like it might be passed, trying to address issues such as backyard gun ranges. The bill would prevent people from recreationally firing guns in areas with residential densities of 1 or more dwellings units per acre. Well, I don't have, basically people have asked me, what I think of some of these bills. Well, as far as the backyard gun range bill, if the rules are set up where you can really protect the neighborhood, part of me doesn't really have a problem with that. I know mainly because a lot of times there aren't those many ranges in the area. that are open to the public. You have a lot of private ranges, but around here, at least in the Lakeland area, there's only 2 ranges that I know of. There's one at Saddle Creek and Tennerock. And I know one of those they've been doing repairs for a while. But those are the only 2 for a large area. But as far as the backyard gun range bill, if it's done the way it's supposed to be with all the safety issues, I don't have a problem. And this open carry gun bill bangs into business concerns. Floridians permitted to carry concealed handguns would be able to display firearms on the outside of their clothes under a measure that cleared its first House committee Tuesday. However, several lawmakers in both parties and an influential business group expressed concern about the potential impact of the proposal on private property rights. So that's something they're going to have to work out. The survey, Floridians oppose guns on campuses, and I kind of agree with that. I went to college, and a lot of people went to college, and most of the time in these frat houses it's made nothing but drinking and everything else. And just like driving and booze don't mix, booze and handguns don't mix either. I wouldn't have a problem with them keeping it in their vehicles, but as far as having them in on the campuses itself, at least as far as the dorm areas, I personally don't think that's really a good idea. And the Florida Supreme Court is going to be taking up the case that bars people from openly carrying a firearm. My brother and I disagree on certain parts of it, because first of all, open carry, the purpose of a concealed carry is so people don't know you're carrying it, to make it easier so you don't run into problems, because you know as well as I do, the minute they see a weapon, if they're going to commit a crime, they're going to go after the one who has the weapon. Also, it's going to be a hazard to the public in general, because most people don't like weapons to begin with, and to have them out and showing, people kind of, they get a little nervous, and it'd be very easy for somebody to call law enforcement because they see somebody with a weapon. You'd also have people walking around with rifles and shotguns, and I personally don't like the idea of an open carry. I think the purpose of a concealed carry is for protection without exposing you and the public to a certain amount of discomfort or danger. I mean, even nowadays, you'll see detectives or plainclothes officers, and as soon as people see the weapon, especially if they're now looking at them and they see it, you can already tell just by their facial expressions until they see that they see the badge, and then they relax. So how are they going to feel if they don't see anything? And I know this fact because when I used to carry a badge up north, people, as soon as they see it, they look at you differently than if you didn't have it. So this open carry, I can see the reason why they did it, because you have some overzealous officers that at one time if somebody just bent down and the weapon was exposed a little bit, that was enough. They no longer had a concealed weapon, they ended up being arrested. Well, so this open carry in many ways came about because of overzealous law enforcement who wanted to make an arrest when they could have just not done anything. If somebody's bending down, the weapon gets exposed. They weren't doing it on purpose, not like they were showing it. Like opening their coat so everybody can see that they're carrying a weapon. So Florida tightened up that rule a few years back. But evidently they still have cases where sometimes people run into problems. But my personal thing on open carry, I don't have a problem with concealed carry, but open carry, even I would be a little apprehensive if I saw some. For two reasons. First off, it's open carry. A lot of the weapons that people carry, at least the holsters, they're very easy to grab. Law enforcement holsters are a little different. They have retentions on them, where it's very difficult for somebody to take it from behind or from in front. But a lot of these people have never had any training, and they just get simple holsters that are easy to get out. I mean, if they can take a weapon away from a trained law enforcement officer, they're going to do it by, the general public. So it's important that they be trained and they have the right type of holster. And where that's not going to happen, then I would say no as far as the open carry, unless they have things to go with it to make sure that the weapon is in a retention holster and things of that nature, and many people aren't going to get involved with that. So that's my take on the bill, but we shall see. Well, I can see our time is almost up. I hope you enjoyed the information was here this evening. On Wednesday nights, we're going to try to have a little bit less news and more of a Bible study or looking at the Word of God on Wednesday. So rather than do the news first, we will do the Bible study first, and then go and cover some of the news that's been going on during the week. Like I say, we're concentrating mainly on news pertaining to veterans, but we'll also be covering things having to do with Christianity, the Bible. We'll even cover these subjects like abortion and same-sex marriages and this whole sexual revolution that we have going before us now. I think with some of the things that are going on, I think many people are starting to become aware that some of these things need to have some additional laws put on it to kind of regulate this before it gets way out of hand. Well, this is Chaplain Abel closing off for this evening. Remember to continually be in prayer for our government, our leaders, and be in prayer for the families of all those that were injured and died in Paris. And keep them in your prayers. And until we get back together on Wednesday, I'm wishing everyone a pleasant good evening until we get together next time. Good night. God bless.